Hey, check this out, boys and girls. Today we're going to talk about a fragrance from Maison Crivelli. And yeah, it's that one, the one everybody talks about. Oh, this is a goat fragrance. Oh, I need a clone of this. Blase, blase, blah. Let's see what it's really hitting for. Strap up. All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I'm your host for the evening. My eyes are trippy and my soul is drifty. I am so tired, but I'm here bringing you guys some new heat from the house of Maison Crivelli. We have Oud Maracuja. Everybody talks about this fragrance, guys. I've heard the chit chatter, but I haven't really been paying attention. 4.22 out of 5, so mass appeal territory. 4,100 votes on that rating. Classified as a leather fragrance that's unisex. That's interesting. Launched in 2023. And the experience is a passion fruit tasting in remote oud wood forests. The contrast is the richness of oud wood, contrasted by exotic and luminous passion fruit notes. The family is exotic, woody, and fruity. I don't know why they put vegan there. And brings the finest natural perfume ingredients from the perfume house. Yeah, everybody does. Anyways, let's get this cracking. Oud Maracuja, huh? This is your king, huh, boys? It's Ooh. Okay. I don't know if I should have did skin this late at night with something so animalic. Wow. You want to blow in the air, it's so intense. Ooh. I'm going to have to take a shower after this video. Thank God that's what I actually planned on doing. I'm going to let that sit for a second because, man, the moment this comes out of the holster, it's just gun smoke. You know what I'm saying? It's all up in the air. Tons of leather, tons of oud, backbone of fruitiness, but mostly animalic, fresh, luxury, leather, oud, the tiniest 20% of fruits subdued. This is a leather oud fragrance. Unisex? No way. No. Ladies, this is aggressive, man. I mean, if you're an ethnic, everyone's ethnic. If you are not from the United States, you're from Italy, you're from the Middle East, something like that, maybe this might be something that's not intimidating to you. But man, what I can appreciate right off the bat before analyzing the scent profile is for a animalic, leathery, fresh oud smell, the quality is so pristine, though it is reminiscent of a lot of the fake, cheap, synthetic smelling ouds you get from your worst clones to your best clones. You know, like if you smelled off non-carbon, rare carbon, you kind of get into that space. Now, rare carbon is a great leather fragrance, but it's still cheap. You know it's cheap, but it works. This is the highest final boss of that. And it's done so much better to the point where I almost feel like clone fragrances should never mess with leather or oud because the difference in quality is so apparent. You need the quality difference to really pull the fragrance off because it's already an abrasive note. Yeah, it's the balance here is like 80-20 or 70-30. Fresh, rich, luxury cut, heavy, dense leather. This kind of oudy stank on it, but it's not too stank. It just smells like the day after the animal was killed and the leather was made. I'm sorry, guys. I know I love animals just as much as you do. I have animals. I would never hurt them. But I'm just saying, it's the leather after it's produced, right after the kill. It's fresh. It's growling. For that vibe, it is smooth, but it is aggressive, man. I can almost hear and name the animal that that was used to make this. That didn't actually happen, but as if, guys. Much better on skin than the test strip. Matter of fact, it's better on skin than it is in the air. Yeah, on the skin or on the test strip, the leather and animalics are fresh, but it's such a leathery fragrance on the test strip. This would scare away all notions of it being unisex. But, you know, it's Tuscan leather, it's ombre leather, it's Oud ombre leather, it's Oudi leather. Now, let's see this dry down. The dry down is so much better than the opening. The dry down, the fruits, the tropical fruitiness. I saw that it said passion fruit, but this is so much different than passion fruit. I can smell passion fruit, but the leather twist and the woody twist and the warm spicy twist and the freshness, such a different tint on passion fruit that just calling it a passion fruit fragrance is very misleading. But what felt like an 80-20, 80 dominant leather, 20% fruit, spices, warmth, amber, really table turns into the dry down on the skin to where I feel as though it's more, I can't even say 60-40. I think it went from 80-20 to about 65-35, where the fruit is definitely more on the top notes now. You get more of a fruity desirability. The leather is calmed down. So to me, what I feel with this fragrance is that the magic is in the dry down, and what happens about 10 minutes later after spraying is where you really start to fall in love with the fragrance. Because for me, the opening, even for how many things I've put my nose on, was quite just aggressive and animalic for my taste. But when it dries down, you know, I almost feel the same way with ombre leather. Like as you moved from the original, the EDT or EDP into the parfum, it got better. And then Oud ombre leather just got miles better than those. I almost feel like, you know, this is on that Oud ombre leather vibe, but much more fruity. This is like if ombre leather and Kajal Lamar had a kid, or like a more fitting note profile comparison would be Oud ombre leather or ombre leather parfum had a baby with Jadoub from Mind Games. I wonder if there's rose in here, because I'm smelling rose. I've described the fragrance quite a bit, guys. So we got good old Jordi here, heavy hitter in the game. Passion fruit, fruity notes, Turkish rose. There's that rose. So rose and passion fruit's what I'm smelling. It feels more rosy in the dry down, less passion fruit, but I definitely still get it. But it falls off quick. You're left with this Turkish rose with a hint of saffron in the back. Agarwood oud, benzoin, tons of benzoin in this fragrance. Indonesian patchouli, leather, Akigalawood, amber, vanilla, labdanum. Again, this area of the fragrance right here where I'm drawing my mouse, hopefully you guys can look in and see where my mouse is highlighting. This area feels like the new 65% patchouli, benzoin, Agarwood, leather, Akigalawood. 35% feels like amber, passion fruit, rose. Thinking out loud, I don't know what the occasion here would be other than semi-formal, fancy, going out statement maker. This is a statement maker. It is a statement. You spray this fragrance out in the air and a person appears and is like, hey guys, you know what I'm saying? This is like a transformative piece. The leather component makes it feel like it's serious, formal, but the fruitiness pulls it into almost like a casual, formal fancy. It's a formal fancy with fun touches. Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you mix, you know, ombre leather or Tuscan leather with any of the three. Jadoub, Kajal Lamar. Forgot what the other one was that I mentioned. But yeah, it's like those all had a baby. And even the rose oudness of it will take you into territory like Oud Silk Mood. Yeah, man. I mean, here's what I can say. Props to if you were ever saying like, I hate how most fragrances don't have longevity, this is eternal. Yeah. Look at this, guys. Eternal. Sillage is strong, enormous. Yeah, this does feel eternal. Like, I feel like one spray is enough. Interested to try this French Avenue rendition of it. I haven't seen that before. It does feel very Ombre Nomadish, but Ombre Nomad truly is a minimalist, deconstructive version of this. It smells like it, but like they turn the volume up way heavy on the animalics and the Passionfruit in this version, whereas Ombre Nomad really dries down to quite an airy McDonald's version of this. So if you've been curious about Ombre Nomad, skip Ombre Nomad, especially for the price point, and just go to Oud Maracuja. It's the thicker, fuller-bodied fragrance with more accents and touches. But be so careful on the trigger finger. On a very cold, freezing day, I may go 2 sprays. Like if I'm going to Scent Explorer and it's freezing cold and I'm in New York, 1 spray in the front, 1 spray in the back, call it a day. But maybe Ombre Nomad is the West Coast version of this, where when you're in the heat and the sun and all that, and you just got that ocean breeze, you really can't pop off with Oud Maracuja. So I guess there is a place for Ombre Nomad, but Ombre Nomad is a fifth of what this fragrance is in terms of body, performance, and depth. I can't believe I sprayed this on tonight. It's going to take maybe 2 showers to take off. The dry down is very beautiful. Very beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, this guy's sentiment feels very appropriate. I smelled this over a year ago. It wasn't the biggest fan of it, but one of the sales associates gave me a 2 ml and told me to just sit with it and see if my mind changed. Last year, I wore it 2 separate times. Wasn't so sure how I felt about it either time, but I was leaning on the not so good side of things. Yesterday, my dad found one of the samples and sprayed it, and as I walked into the room, it was absolutely gorgeous. Sugary, mouth-watering, leather, masculine, unapologetically strong. I recognized it as Oud Maracuja. I mean, this fragrance is very recognizable. And I wore it today and realized I really do like it. When I had first smelled it last year, I thought the oud was a bit medicinal. I don't agree with that at all. And the passion fruit was overly done. I don't agree with that at all. But who cares about the past? We're in the present, and it's just as good. 9.2 out of 10, sample before you buy. This guy's sentiment, like, pretty much can just sum up this video. And matter of fact, let's go ahead and wrap up here. Try it before you buy it. It's an eternal fragrance. I don't ever think, and this is an extrait de parfum, I don't think any weather, any location ever would warrant a full bottle of this. I truly feel like if you had a 10 ml, it will last your lifetime, because 1 or 2 sprays out of a 10 ml is hundreds of sprays. So in that case, I think a 10 ml would go years, even if it was a signature scent for you. Bottle is completely inappropriate for this. And the bottle's not even that special looking. So yeah, if you ever bought this fragrance, 10 ml, leave it at that. Re-up on a 10 ml if you think I'm lying to you. It'll be cheaper for you in the end. Eternal fragrance, man, strong, animalic, statement maker. Occasions for this, fancy, schmancy, anything. The only time I could see this semi-formalish is in super cold weather where it's just being aired out to feel like an eau de parfum. Other than that, tread with serious caution. This is a men's fragrance, no question. And if you've been looking for a leathery scent, putting this next to like a eau de ombre leather always has felt to me like business professional. This is more ballroom, Met Gala, fancy business dinner. stuff like that, anniversary dinner, something like that. But again, I think with the opposite sex, you got to make sure your wife likes animalics, or you got to make sure you spray the fragrance 1 to 2 times. You go outside for like an hour and let this thing dry down to its max and turn more into an EDP intensity. And then now you're sitting in a good place. And there's a lot of fragrances that do that, Oud for Greatness, Kajal Lamar, Oud Satin Mood. These are all fragrances that just supremely benefit from waiting and letting the fragrance soak up on skin, dry down. I would also wear this fragrance in such a way where I would spray it on my skin and then put the clothes on top of the skin to muffle it and let it really last. As a fragrance, I'm torn between an 8 and a 9, because I feel like if you like this, it's easily a 9. I feel like if you're caught by the abrasiveness of it and you're not too much of a leather oud animalics guy, I think you have to at least give it an 8. It is way above average, not just because of performance, but depth as a leather scent. This is beating out a lot of your favorite leather scents in terms of complexity, richness, uniqueness, and all that. Yeah, so like, I wouldn't wear this unless I lived like on the East Coast and I had a really serious reason to pop out this intense, because it is a pop out fragrance. So for me personally, I give it an 8 and I don't decimal. Otherwise, I'd bump it to a decimal that's higher than just a baseline 8. But if you're into ombre leathers and leather ouds and rose ouds and things like that, this should be a 9 out of 10 fragrance, bare minimum. With that being said, fall, winter, don't touch this in spring, summer at all. You need cold air. You need elements to battle with this to really accent the beauty of the complexity in this fragrance. Formal, men's fragrance. I truly feel it's a 30 and up minimum, 30-year-old minimum. And you got to have your life together wearing this fragrance. It growls with such an intensity. If you're not a very comfortable, confident man, this will outclass you. Literally. And yeah, solid scent. Alternatives to this, I mean, there's a lot. I don't think there's one singular fragrance that comes to my mind that really tackles this DNA, other than getting kind of in the ballpark of it, which would be like Oud Satin Mood or clones of Oud Satin Mood. Kajal Lamar, if they ever come out with a clone of it that's valid, stuff like that. But it really is a hybrid of all your favorite rose ouds. It's a hybrid marriage between Oud Silk Mood, Oud Satin Mood, Kajal Lamar, Jadoub, Eau de Ombre Leather, stuff like that. So those would be the alternatives. Price point, you kind of is all over the place, ranging from $30 Ministry of Oud Satin, all the way up to the niche fragrances, somewhere between the $200 and $400 range, just depending on if you're discounting or not discounting, etc. I appreciate a fragrance like this because it's a statement maker, and it is one of the higher quality renderings of animalics, woods, ouds, and rose that I've come across. So from that standpoint, I think Oud Maracuja is the baseline gold standard for even approaching animalics, leather, and rose with respect. But for me, it's an 8. Maybe it's because of where I live. I'm in a hot climate, never really could find appropriateness to wear this. But maybe I might feel, I strongly feel like some fragrances can't be worn without a breeze. Like a fragrance sucks until a breeze hits it and then you're like, oh my gosh, or until you smell it on somebody else. I really feel like this fragrance is like that. So maybe I might bump it up to a 9 if I try it in super cold weather. So I have a lot of decants of this. I kind of inherited a big sample set of Oud Maracuja, at least like 20 ml. So I'm going to give it away to you guys in the next giveaway. We'll give away a few Oud Maracujas to let you guys dance with this DNA. But I'll certainly have extra on me. So I think while the winter is still here, I will try to wear this to work with one spray and go from there. Guys, again, Maison Crivelli. I'm interested to try more fragrances from that house because I think this might be the first one. Starter pack, Oud Maracuja. And I got respect for this fragrance, but I ain't going near it for a while. Let me know in the comments section. Like, comment, subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell. Talk to me. I do talk back. Based off what you've been searching for, I'm going to recommend a couple of videos up top, you know, to the channel that I think you'll be interested in. The algorithm's going to help me out a little bit. If you're new to the channel, I drop videos every single day. If you want fragrance content, all shapes and sizes, all price points, clones, dupes, niche, inspired, independent, niche, designer, old school, vintage, all that stuff, this is the place you want to be, man. This is the Scent Bubble. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your week. And I'm serious. Let me know down below things like when it comes to rose, leather, and oud, what are your go-tos? Where do you live? Where do you wear it? Do you like this fragrance? Was the review helpful? Feedback is so appreciated, guys. When I get feedback, I feel like I'm not shouting out into an empty void. I feel like the community is actually here and thriving. And that's what we want to do here, build community. I have a lot of followers, but guess what? I don't know any of them. Only the people that reach out and give me feedback become my family. So if this content interests you or impacted you in any way, I would love your feedback. And with that being said, have a blessed week. I'll talk to you next time.